Unsurprisingly, Chrisley Knows Best fans are eager to learn how Julie Chrisley is faring behind bars in the state of Kentucky. Her very outspoken daughter, Savannah, has continued to do her part to keep their fans informed on how her parents are faring behind bars. On the latest episode of Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley, she gave fans a detailed update on what being behind bars looked like for her mother. Turns out, Julie Chrisley is doing surprisingly well considering the situation she's in. Savannah reveals her mother has even found a way to make some friends. So, her time behind bars is less lonely and isolating for her. Julie Chrisley makes new friends behind bars. During her most recent podcast episode, Savannah reassures her followers that she has been in contact with both her mother and her father. She recognizes that it is a strange thing to say, but things are going really well for her mother right now. Savannah Chrisley admits the situation has only made her even more inspired and in awe of her mother because Julie has found a way to make a home out of her prison life. I will say, my mom, honestly, she's doing really well. And I know it sounds crazy for me to say that. It sounds crazy for me to say, alright, they're doing really well. But they are. My mom, she's made friends. She's keeping busy. She's going to church. She's working. As fans know, it has been about 2 weeks since Todd and Julie surrendered to their respective prisons on January 17. Julie was originally supposed to serve her time at Federal Correctional Institute Marianna. She, however, ended up getting reassigned to Federal FMC Lexington in Kentucky. Fans thought the reassignment was strange as the prison in Kentucky was intended for inmates that required medical treatment. The family, however, has insisted there is no reason to be concerned as nothing is wrong with Julie. As Update of USA previously reported, another tidbit of information that came out of the woodwork was the fact that Julie was locked up at the same prison as cheer vet and convicted sex criminal Jerry Harris. Being of different genders, however, the two didn't have to worry about running into each other. Savannah also revealed that her mother Julie found a way to bring her favorite game into the prison. And, she was doing more than just playing it. She was wiping the floor with the other inmates. She's playing some spades. When I tell you playing, she is running a dog on everyone. Anyone that knows my family knows that spades is our game. It's what we play. It's just our thing. Grayson Chrisley is struggling. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Julie's youngest son Grayson. Savannah also revealed on her podcast that her brother Grayson suffered a mental breakdown after their parents were locked up. Savannah explained her brother was having a hard time processing the fact that he knows his parents are good people despite the fact that they are behind bars. Julie Chrisley had never imagined that her life would take such a drastic turn. Once the matriarch of the reality TV family, loved for her grace, humor, and southern charm on Chrisley Knows Best, she now found herself in a starkly different reality, behind bars, serving a sentence for financial crimes. The transition from a luxurious lifestyle filled with designer clothes, high-end events, and family trips to a prison uniform and cell blocks was an overwhelming shock. But as months passed, Julie found herself adapting to her new environment in ways she hadn't expected. What could easily have become a period of despair and isolation became something of a journey for Julie, where she unexpectedly formed a new bond. At first, Julie kept to herself, unsure of how to connect with the women around her. They came from different backgrounds, had faced different struggles, and lived lives she could barely relate to. She feared judgment for her high-profile case and felt the sting of shame every time her name was mentioned on the news outside. But as the days turned into weeks, Julie began to realize that the women around her had stories just as complex as her own. The inmates ranged from drug offenders to women who had fallen victim to desperate circumstances. Slowly, she learned that she wasn't alone in her journey, and that prison, in its own strange way, offered an opportunity to form authentic connections. A surprising friendship. One day, while sitting in the prison cafeteria during lunch, Julie overheard a conversation that sparked her interest. A group of women were discussing their love for cooking, sharing recipes, and recalling family meals. Julie, known for her kitchen skills on Chrisley Knows Best, perked up at the familiar topic. "I used to make a mean pecan pie for my family," Julie said, surprising even herself as she joined the conversation. The women around her, some skeptical at first, soon realized that Julie wasn't the aloof celebrity they had assumed. As they began swapping stories about their favorite Southern recipes, Julie found herself opening up more and more. In particular, she clicked with an inmate named Lena, a former restaurant owner who had been convicted on drug-related charges. Lena had a tough exterior, but once Julie got to know her, she discovered a woman with a passion for food and a kind heart beneath the layers of defenses. The two quickly bonded over their shared love for cooking, and Lena, who had been in prison for several years, became something of a mentor to Julie. "Prison changes you," Lena told her one day during a walk around the yard. "But it doesn't have to break you. You've got to find something that keeps you grounded." For me, it was cooking. For you, maybe it's the same. Julie took those words to heart. Cooking had always been her way of expressing love, nurturing her family, and connecting with people. Even in prison, it could serve as a reminder of the woman she truly was. A new role, teaching and giving back. As the months passed, Julie found herself becoming more involved in the prison's activities. She volunteered to help in the kitchen, where she could lend her expertise and, in turn, escape the monotony of prison life. Over time, her cooking skills became well known among the inmates, and she was even asked to teach a cooking class as part of the prison's rehabilitation programs. Julie embraced the opportunity, seeing it not only as a way to pass the time but as a chance to give back. For the first time in months, she felt like she had a purpose again. She worked with the prison staff to develop recipes that the inmates could recreate using limited ingredients, teaching them techniques to make meals with what little they had available. Her classes became a hit, not just because of her culinary skills but because of her warm demeanor and ability to bring the women together. In an environment where trust was hard to earn and friendships were often fleeting, Julie's classes became a place of camaraderie, where the women could forget, even just for a moment, about their circumstances. "I never thought I'd learn to cook from a celebrity," one of the inmates joked during class, "but here we are. Julie, you've got us making gourmet meals with ramen noodles." Julie laughed, feeling a deep sense of pride. For the first time since her sentencing, she felt a sense of fulfillment again.